It's been a season full of ups and downs for South African cricket, and top of the list, the ongoing match-fixing investigation in the domestic game. Added to that, the Proteas were dethroned as the top test nation and also had an early exit from the ICC 2020 World Cup. But one of the success stories of the season was a small man with a big heart.
Yeah, I think I still remember everything that happened, even though it happened quite a while ago. I think when I was on 96, 97, I think the realization of that I was close to a milestone, that was obviously there, ringing in my head. A lot of thoughts were happening, imagining, how my parents would feel, and getting to that milestone.
As the proud father of Temba Bavuma.
So with all those thoughts, I had to try, calm myself down, try get back into the moment. I think as he was running in, my biggest thing was, to try and watch the ball, to try really watch the ball. And yeah, luckily in the end, it was to the good.
It's gone fine. Will it go for four? Moen Ali makes it 100 for Temba Bavuma.
Temba Bavuma, you beauty.
A watershed moment in South African sport.
What an awesome achievement. Hear the crowd going mad. Means a lot for him, means a lot for South Africa. There's his father. Everyone on their feet, and rightly so. Temba Bavuma's maiden test century.
I think the biggest thing that I saw for myself, it's all about opportunity. If I look at my career, up to date, I think at amateur level, I probably average about 27, 28 as a batter, and you would think to yourself, how did this guy, get to the point where he is?
A well-known saying is that batsmen rely less on their physical skill and more on mental strength. And it certainly proved to be the case with Bavuma.
Growing up, I always believed that, cricket is a skill-orientated game, you're always told that it's all about the mind, it's all about the mind. And for me, I always believed that it was about skill. I always believed that if you could play a push shot, you could play it anywhere. But having played international cricket, you come to realize that, all of us have the skill, but now it's the mental fortitude that allows you to be successful at this level.
The 25-year-old has come a long way before his schooling days at St. David's Marist College in Johannesburg. His talents were first discovered in Langa by Western Province Administrator Ezra Kagwe. He says Bavuma's personality complements his natural abilities.
Ingxaki zethu esinazo ngoku endazifumanayo ininzi into eseplatini abantwana bethu abayazi mabathathe phi bashephi. Umzekelo, for instance, akanobheka eklabhini ezawudlala imatch yecricket ngomso. Icricket asiyo 90 minutes, yabona, which is ufana uba urestile uplana igame yam. Ziziproblem esizifumanayo kubantwana bethu. Abazipushi for i-betting ifuna abantu abazipushayo. Ba uyabava nabantu bazi-batsmen, aba bazi-batsmen ezinkulu ubhetisha ixesha elide.
Bavuma also admits that the privilege of being educated at a top cricket school helped him better develop his game.
Where I was fortunate is that I was able to I had the opportunity to go to your private schooling system where I was put in that system, and that's where my talent was was able to be nurtured and nourished, and that's how I was able to get where I am. I think being in that system, you obviously have everyday exposure to your quality facilities, to the resources, so you don't struggle in terms of that. And cricket itself, if you look at it, in terms of, our country, cricket is an elite sport, you just look at the cost, if you want to be a batsman growing up, I look at the price of my bat now. Is about 10,000.
But discovering the next Temba Bavuma may not happen overnight.
And got him.
Since the new transformation policy, which requires domestic teams to select 6 players of colour in every match, came into effect this season, not many black Africans excelled in the batting department. Cape Cobra's captain Ompile Ramela was the only player to feature in the top 10 of run scorers in the Sunfoil Series first-class competition with 592 runs. But have these changes weakened the standard of domestic cricket?
I won't say that it's been weakened, but what I do know that generally for me, from my performance, it's I've got to try and narrow the gap between franchise and international cricket, and that at the moment is the biggest challenge for us.
While South African cricket continues to go through a transitional phase, many wish that the likes of Temba Bavuma remain in the national mix and continue to be beacons of hope for many black kids.
Temba Bavuma's maiden Test century.
Ronald Masinda, Cape Town.